The Appended Statements of the I Ching, Book of Changes, states, therefore, in the system of change, there is the great ultimate Taiji, which generates the two primal forces, Liangyi. The two primal forces generate the four emblems, Sixiang. The four emblems generate the 8 trigrams, Bagua. The 8 trigrams represent 8 common natural phenomena in the universe, and on a map of China, signify the 8 cardinal directions. Heaven is lofty and brilliant, earth is broad and deep, and humanity is wise. The saying, heaven is exalted, earth is lowly, does not imply inequality, for what is high is not necessarily noble, and what is low is not necessarily base. It merely signifies a difference in roles and functions. The core concept of the Qin, heaven trigram, is Yuan, Heng, Li, Zhen. Yuan corresponds to birth in spring, Heng to growth in summer, Li to harvest in autumn, and Zhen to storage in winter. Specifically, the Appended Statements of the I Ching say, therefore, in the system of change, there is the great ultimate Taiji, which generated the two primal forces, Liangyi. The two primal forces generated the 4 emblems, Sixiang. The 4 emblems generated the 8 trigrams, Bagua. The 8 trigrams determine good fortune and misfortune. Good fortune and misfortune create the great field of action. The great ultimate, Taiji, represents the state of the universe before heaven and earth separated, a state of chaos undifferentiated by yin and yang. The character Tai in Taiji can be interpreted as Da, great or large, combined with a dot, Tais, symbolizing the extremely large containing the extremely small. Taiji generates the two primal forces, Liangyi, which refer to the two opposing forces of Yangyi and Yin-Yang. Liangyi further evolved into the 4 emblems. Lesser Yangyi, representing morning, when the earth is cool and the sun appears in the sky. Greater Yangyi, representing noon. Lesser Yin-Yin, representing dusk, when the earth is still warm but the sun has set. And greater Yin-Yin, representing night. The 4 emblems further evolve into the 8 trigrams, Bagua. The origin of all things is called the noumenon in philosophy. In religion, it is called the supreme ruler, God, the Tao, the divine, or Buddha. In the I Ching, it is called Qian. Qian is the first of the 8 trigrams. The 8 trigrams represent 8 fundamental diagrams. Each diagram consists of 3 lines, either the Yang symbol I or the Yin symbol I. They are Qian, M, Kun, Zhen, Kan, Zhen, Wan, Zhen, Epps, Yuan, and Li, Epps. Each symbolic line is called a Yao. The 8 trigrams are composed of 3 stacked Yao, while the 64 hexagrams are composed of 6 stacked Yao. Yao means interaction or crossing, referring to the interweaving of yin, closed, broken line ping, and yang, open, unbroken line ping to form different trigram images. The yin yao is represented by the symbol R and the yang yao by R. Qian carries the meanings of opening the door and heaven. As its opposite counterpart, Kun carries the meanings of closing the door and earth. Specifically, as shown in the diagram, the 8 trigrams represent 8 relatively static natural phenomena common in the universe. On a map of China, they represent the 8 cardinal directions. The Son of Heaven, Emperor, sits facing south with his back to the north. Looking south, he sees heaven, Qian. The north where he sits is earth, Kun. The sun rises in the east, bringing a fiery red glow, Lai. The sources of China's rivers are in the west, Kan. The southeast coast has many marshlands, Dui. The northwest has many mountains, Zhen. The southwest has much wind, Zhen, and the northeast has much thunder, Zhen. The double trigrams, the 64 hexagrams, represent the changes in various human affairs and events. As illustrated, the 8 trigrams represent 8 relatively static natural phenomena common in the universe and correspond to 8 directions on the map of China. Trigrams are read from the bottom up. For example, Yang Yang Yang, Chan represents heaven. Yin Yin Yin, Chong represents earth. Yang Yin Yin, Zhen represents thunder. Yin Yang Yin, Ken represents water. Yin Yin Yang, Ye, Gan represents mountain. Yin Yang Yang, Yu, Shun represents wind. Yang Yin Yang, Yi represents fire. Yang Yang Yin, Yi, Dui represents marsh. Hint: Zhen A, Kun A, Zhen A, Zhen A, Zhen, 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 Li A, and Dui A also respectively represent father, mother, eldest son, second son, youngest son, eldest daughter, second daughter, and youngest daughter. This illustrates that the I Ching views the universe as an organic whole, with generations perpetually arising. Trigrams with more yin lines and fewer yang lines are called yang trigrams, i.e., yang trigrams have more yin. There are 3 such trigrams: Zhen N, Yi Kan N Yi, and Zhen. Trigrams with more yang lines and fewer yin lines are called yin trigrams, i.e., yin trigrams have more yang. There are 3 such trigrams: Du Yi, 1, Li, and Shun, Qian. 1 is greater yang. Zhen M, Kan, and Zhen are lesser yang. Kun M is greater yin. Du Yi and M, and Shun M are lesser yin. The 12 message hexagrams, Xie Xiao Si Gua, describe the waxing and waning of yin and yang through the 4 seasons over the 12 months of the year. In a hexagram, an increase in yang lines and a decrease in yang lines is called yang expansion. Yang Si. An increase in yin lines and a decrease in yang lines is called yin diminution, yin yi xiao. Together they are called message, yin yi x yi xiao, meaning the rhythmic ebb and flow. According to the pattern of yang expansion and yin diminution, the 12 message hexagrams, double trigrams, i.e., hexagrams composed of 6 lines, appear in the following order: full hexagram, Lin hexagram, Tai hexagram, Dazhuang hexagram, Guai hexagram, Qian hexagram, Go hexagram, Dun hexagram, Pe hexagram, Guan hexagram, Bo hexagram, and Kun hexagram. These correspond respectively to the 11th lunar month, Zi month, winter solstice, the 12th lunar month, Kodu month, great cold, continuing through the first lunar months of the following year, Yin months, rainwater, the 2nd lunar month, Mo months, spring equinox, the 3rd lunar month, Chen months, grain rain, the 4th lunar month, Sei month, lesser fullness, the 5th lunar month, Wei month, summer solstice, the 6th lunar month, Wei month, great heat, the 7th lunar month, Shen month, end of heat, the 8th lunar month, Yu month, autumn equinox, the 9th lunar month, Shu month, frost descent, and the 10th lunar months, high months, light snow. Furthermore, in the I Ching, it is stipulated that greater yin is 6, greater yang is 9, lesser yang is 7, and lesser yin is 8. Greater yin, associated with the number 6, and greater yang, associated with the number 9, represent the dynamic states of yin and yang, symbolizing their full expression and activity. Lesser yang, associated with the number 7, and lesser yin, associated with the number 8, represent the static states of yin and yang, symbolizing their latent, not yet fully expressed condition. Thus, the movement of yang 9 begins with Zhen, from 1 line yang Zhen, A, to 2 line yang Du A, evolving into pure 3 line yang Chen. Conversely, the movement of yin 6 begins with Yun, from 1 line yin Shun, Yin, to 2 line yin Zhen, Yi, evolving into pure 3 line yin Kun. The stillness of yang 7 begins with Kan. The image of the Kan trigram is 2 yin lines containing 1 yang line M, symbolizing yang energy not yet fully unfolded, remaining static within yin energy. The stillness of yin 8 begins with Li. The image of the Li trigram is 2 yang lines containing 1 yin line, a Li, symbolizing yin energy not yet fully unfolded, remaining static within yang energy. In the 3-line trigrams, a total of 8, the top line represents the way of heaven, the bottom line represents the way of earth, and the middle line represents the way of humanity, as humans live between heaven and earth. This forms the 3 powers, Sankai of heaven, earth, and humanity. In the doubled 64 hexagrams, which become 6 lines, the first and second lines at the bottom represent earth, the third and fourth lines in the middle represent humanity, and the fifth and sixth lines at the top represent heaven. Heaven is lofty and brilliant, earth is broad and deep, and humanity is wise. The way of heaven, Tao, is made manifest through humanity, hence humans can magnify the Tao, yet human power is limited, while the way of heaven is inexhaustible. Only by exercising wisdom and humanness can humans resonate with heaven and earth, connecting and uniting with them. Earth is most simple and values rules. What works, works. What doesn't, doesn't. Heaven, in contrast, is characterized by changeable weather, clear and overcast, stable and unstable. Humanity must, on one hand, be down to earth and follow rules, and on the other hand, learn from heaven's capacity for change and flexibility, all while centering on benevolence, Ren, and righteousness. Yi, the statement, heaven is exalted, earth is lowly, and thus Chen and Kun are determined, does not carry a meaning of inequality. For what is high is not necessarily noble, and what is low is not necessarily base. It is merely a matter of different roles and responsibilities. Qian and Kun are equally important, each possessing strengths and weaknesses. For instance, heaven represents spirit, while earth represents matter. One should not pursue matter exclusively, but should also revere and pursue the spirit. However, being high does not guarantee nobility. For the high to be noble, it requires even greater caution and care. Conversely, earth is broad and deep, supporting all things without exception. As the first and most important hexagram of the I Ching, the core concept of the Qian hexagram is the four virtues. Yuan, Heng, Li, Zhen. Yuan means beginning, origin. Heng means smooth progress, unhindered development. Li means benefit, advantage, harvest. Zhen means uprightness, constancy, correctness. Yuan, Heng, Li, Zhen are interpreted as corresponding to the seasonal changes in nature. Yuan corresponds to birth in spring, Heng to growth in summer, Li to harvest in autumn, and Zhen to storage in winter. Yuan, Heng, Li, Zhen is also regarded as the fundamental principle governing the operation of the way of heaven, embodying the pattern of generation, development, maturation, and completion of all things in the universe. I am Wu Huaiyu, a PhD from the Chinese Academy of Sciences and a postdoctoral fellow from Peking University and the founder of AI philosophy. For more detailed information, please refer to the complete version of this book. In addition to this short video, you can also click on my avatar to view more long videos.